Welcome to another edition of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. This is the beginning of season 4 for the Law Offices, where we've actually hit a high water mark, I guess, if you think the number 4 is a high water mark. And today on our show, we have the most special guest we've ever had. It's Buzz Lightyear, everybody, also known as a cybersecurity expert and former private investigator, but also somebody that's been a friend of mine and Falco Manhattan's, aka Brendan, for over 30 years. And I'm sure, Greg, if you have questions, you can certainly ask Buzz those questions to see if you can get any dirt.
Well, me and Buzz are actually enemies because I've been a hacker. He's been on my tail for years. And now he's finally caught up with me.
We're on to you now.
I know.
Thanks
a lot for inviting the guy who's been investigating me for 10 years.
Well, it's easy to find you because you're slightly flaccid. So our client for today is the American Resolution. So we'll be getting into that later on.
Behold, trapped in a hellscape of their own invention, socially unaware old white men bound by the pretense of being fake lawyers yet knowing no law, no exquisite Latin terminology, they are inexplicably compelled to quibble over minutia, squabble over triflings, and bicker like those who value their backyards far too highly without even knowing the difference between an easement and an alleyway. At this very moment, you have entered the heart of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Let's get started.
So right now, though, we want to get to Falco Manhattan, who has found our fake sponsor for today's show. Who is the sponsor that will not be paying any of our bills?
Not paying any of our bills. So, hi. You may know
Hello.
me as Brendan, one of the jolly scamps here at the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. And when I'm not tackling the tough issues of the day, like the ethics of pug tugging, or the philosophic Rubik's Cube that is gender fluidity and rodents, I like to unwind with a hot, steaming cup of duck blood. That's right, you heard me, duck blood. So suck it up, you bunch of liberal arts school pussies. But it's not just any duck's blood. No, I just don't go down to the local park and drain a couple of unsuspecting waterfowl. You think I'm a monster? I drink only the finest duck blood the internet has to offer. Daffy's Downfall. Organic, non-GMO, fear-infused duck blood. Daffy's Downfall ducks are free-range, hand-fed, and addicted to heroin. Each of Daffy's Downfall ducks spends his days being fed juicy mealworms and high as a kite. They are free to stagger around the Daffy's Downfall ranch in Montana, although most just lay around and listen to dubstep. But the magic happens 24 hours before they are drained. Each of Daffy's Downfall ducks are allowed to sober up, and when they're at the peak of withdrawal, they're individually terrified through violent imagery. Think Clockwork Orange, but with a duck. Then whammo, blood drained and shipped off to Daffy's Downfall customers worldwide. I think most are German. So when you're ready to relax and you demand only the best, drink Daffy's Downfall duck blood. Use the promo code QSBLAW when you order for 25% off. Daffy's Downfall. Taste the suffering.
You're one sick fuck. That's a weird one.
That's very disturbing. Thank you.
So it was it heating duct blood or duck blood? Duct?
No, it's an actual
Duck.
duck this time, Greg.
Oh,
Yeah,
duck.
like a duck,
Okay.
not a duct.
Heating ducks don't bleed.
But mostly German was the one that got me. All the customers are mostly German. So
mostly.
Donald's not involved, and neither are Huey, Dewey, or Louie.
No, they wouldn't have any part of it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's once again an excellent sponsor that you've rounded up for us, and fitting, very fitting.
Very
So
good.
why don't we move right into talking to Buzz Lightyear today? Buzz Lightyear, of course, on hiatus from Toy Story 23, and on our show looking quite different without his astronaut outfit. So Buzz Lightyear, tell us a bit about cybersecurity and how we're horrible at it.
Well, you're horrible at it because the systems are designed to communicate with each other, and you have problems when everything's connected with other things, and it's difficult to keep those things completely secure.
I meant us particularly. Like
You in particular? Well, you're
Yes.
just terrible at it because you don't have the aptitude to use the computer properly.
And he put us on TikTok.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
don't even know how he figured that out.
Well, I
don't know.
finally hit the right button. And those of you who are listening to us on TikTok, or at least just listening to me on TikTok, if you want to hear everyone else's voices and faces, go to YouTube, our YouTube channel right now, the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on YouTube, and you can see our homeless wizard, slightly flaccid, our sponsor chaser, Falco Manhattan, and our guest, Buzz Lightyear. Anyway, so
My
that's for the people on
cybersecurity is
TikTok.
very tight because I don't go on the internet that much. I mean, my Napster account hasn't been hacked or my Friendster account. I'm still very old school.
That's
Well, you
good.
say
Yeah.
Napster and Friendster, Greg. Is there any other things that end with stir that you choose to mention?
The Jeepster? I don't know.
Hipster?
Of love?
Chinster?
He's just a Jeepster for your love, Matt.
I knew he was.
Grindster?
Tinder
Here we
stir?
go.
Get a pot to stir?
I'm curious though, from an expert, is there like one country that has figured it out? Is like someone better at it? Is someone like, we figured this shit out. We know how to keep people out, or it's impossible.
I mean, it kind of depends on what angle you're going at it from. Like the Chinese are pretty good at infiltrating other people's networks and stealing their stuff, but also the companies and stuff in China historically have really outdated computer systems, or they're using stolen versions of Windows and stuff. So it's actually pretty easy to knock them off going back the other way.
I feel like you get all your information from the show Silicon Valley, Buzz. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I do.
I get my information from the movie War Games and Free Jack.
Those are very good, and those are very accurate. So yeah.
Excellent choices, Greg, as always.
Going back to the early 80s for all the up-to-date computer equipment.
BBS hacking.
BBS hacking.
Is that what it's called? The old computer BBS?
I'm surprised, given
bulletin
what
boards,
what a Luddite he is, that he actually pulled BBS out of his backside.
That's
Yeah,
why the
read
last time he
things.
read something about a computer was back then. That's
Yeah, I
why.
never went on BBS, but I knew that was a thing. That was the
So what did
primitive
BBS stand for, Greg? Do you remember?
British Broadcasting System.
close. Very, very close.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you the first two words.
Broadband.
No,
No,
not broadband.
Broadband
You made Buzz
communication.
put his head in his hands.
Getting
Broadband.
closer.
They didn't have broadband in the 80s, Greg.
Yeah,
Big bottom.
really had dial-up.
It's called bulletin board. So you can figure out
Ah.
what the third letter stands for if you want.
Bulletin board system.
Sure. You know why it was called a bulletin board, Greg?
Because it was like a bulletin board. People would post things.
Yeah. Is that what people do
Yeah.
with bulletin boards, Greg? They post things?
Yeah, you put
Welcome
things
to
up. Like
another
messages.
episode of Dipshit Conversations between Misfit Plant and Slightly Flaccid. In
And,
case you
and
thought you were listening to
dumbass.
something else,
And Neanderthal.
I
Man.
I think we do need to have a special segment called Dipshit Conversations.
now another episode of Dipshit Conversations.
Where Matt just
What's a
explains simple
bulletin
things
board
to me.
system, Greg?
Now, how would that differ from the regular show?
It's
True.
meta. We
That's
probably
pretty
have
much the
to
whole show.
have a dipshit conversation about the dipshit conversation that we actually had in the show.
Very meta.
So-
I like it.
Kind of a post, wrap up, maybe.
I think it was good that you get a spit take out of Greg on that comment, though, Buzz.
Mm.
Was it a spit take or
I
a
didn't
smoke
literally
take? I could
spit.
tell what came out of your face.
It was a mixture of phlegm and other bodily fluids
I didn't.
and yellow bile.
You say a mixture of phlegm and other bodily fluids. So that means there's more than one
'Cause
additional
everything's
bodily
coming up.
fluid.
I don't
So I
know.
would think saliva would
thanks.
go with your phlegm. What is the other bodily fluid?
Thanks for getting to the bottom of that, Matt. I didn't think we really need
I have
expose
questions.
Buzz to Greg's other fluids.
So Buzz,
Probably
I'm
some
curious.
duck blood in there.
There's definitely some duck blood.
Buzz, were you like a computer guy when you were a little kid? Like, were you already into like had a TRS-80?
I mean, I played
Candy
video
computer?
games and stuff like, everybody my age did. And I played around with computers some. And
What is your
got-
age?
That's secret.
Top secret.
I'm 33 in hexadecimal. I'll let you figure that out.
What was your favorite video game? What were you playing a lot of
Pong.
back in the day? Pong. Oh,
Pong.
come on, man.
Sea Hunt. So we can judge your age by that, huh?
Pong
Oh,
was
yeah.
the game that he lived his life by. So it
At
guided all
least
of
you
his
should have played.
decisions.
You should have played the tank one where you like had the little joystick. And
Ooh, I love that one.
Battlezone.
Battle Zone
That was
pretty
great.
cool.
Didn't that have 2 controllers, Battlezone?
Yeah, that was the arcade version. I don't know
Right,
what the
yeah.
Atari version was called.
Was that the one where you'd hit that jumping thing and your tank would jump up 500 feet and you could shoot? Or no, it was Tank Assault?
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe that was a
No.
little later.
It's called
That's
Jumping
definitely
Thing,
better.
Greg, I think was the name of the game.
You know, it
you
was
were
so
looking for.
amazing, especially if you were on LSD, like playing a video game. Your tank, because you'd be looking overhead and your tank would just jump up in the air like 500 feet and then you could shoot at everyone like for really far. Turn your tank around and shoot while you're.
Yeah, but if you're 500 feet in the air, they would all have to be 500 feet in the air too for you to hit them.
No, you just drop bombs at everyone. You're like a bomber, B-17, basically.
So the
the
tank
way-
suddenly became a bomber?
Well,
the way
it was-
better. The way better game was Centipede. If you were doing drugs, Centipede was the best.
Oh, that was too freaky though, because you
I
always,
know that's all
That's
those little
freaking out. Yeah.
I think the centipede would come off the screen at you is what would happen in that
Oh,
game.
you just run screaming out of the arcade. Ah!
So were you a self-taught computer guy, Buzz, or you went to school for computers?
I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school for any of it. I sort of made the transition from private investigation into doing computer security stuff. And I, spent a lot of time out there in my surveillance van, also with a laptop and playing around doing computer stuff. So,
Instead of surveilling, he was playing on his computer.
oh, you can do both.
So many people were like escaping under his watch while he was on his computer, which is why he got.
I
I
out of
wasn't
the
that
FBI
bad,
business.
Matt.
While you were playing Pong.
While I was playing Pong, maybe.
So could you tell us when you were a private dick, what was your like most colorful case, like exciting
Because Greg is a public dick.
client?
Gosh, I had a bunch of them. I mean, from serving papers on like presidents of international banks to doing surveillance with, like 10 people and following people all around. I mean, just random stuff, right? I did mostly surveillance insurance fraud work, some domestic cases, following spouses around or things like that, accident investigations, finding witnesses, all that sort of stuff.
So those insurance frauds, would you find them a lot? Like guys who are like, I can't go to work, and then they'd be playing golf and stuff.
It was a pretty high percentage because the insurance companies aren't going to waste money on a PI until they have a pretty good idea that something sketch is going on.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd follow people that had terrible back injuries and then they're out playing basketball and all of that. Yeah.
What would give the insurance company the idea that they were sketch? I mean, they're just filling out paperwork. How would they possibly know that Jimmy Joe Bob was
A lot of it's medical, record stuff. They're pretty up on, okay, this guy has this injury, this is what should happen. And, if they've got a guy that's like, I can't go and get analyzed because it doesn't work or it heats up my bones or something bizarre. They're like, all right, this doesn't even make sense, right?
Is Jimmy Joe Bob the name of most of the people you followed?
I definitely followed some of those.
There was a lot of Jimmy Joe Bobs.
Yeah.
So
I
why did you
definitely-
transition from basically sitting in a surveillance van all day long into cybersecurity and not do them at the same time?
Well, I've been
money.
doing it for like 15 years. It was getting a little old, frankly, and it was one of those deals where I was like, do I really want to be 65 sitting out here freezing my butt off in a surveillance van or maybe doing something else? And there wasn't much growth in it. Once you're pretty good at it, there's not a whole lot more you can do to get that much better necessarily. Yeah.
I guess if you're in a surveillance van, the growth you do is more, from the waist than anywhere else.
It could be. You
Yeah.
see that in the movies and stuff. And
Yeah.
if you have teams of people, you can do that. If you're working by yourself and you don't have access to, say, bathroom facilities, you don't want to eat a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, so that actually creates a different question. So what do you do in those circumstances when you really got to go? Do you like walk up to the house
Adult
that you're
diapers.
surveilling?
Well, usually you use a bottle or something for,
For one of them.
the easy stuff.
Use a bottle for the other as well.
The other, you just get pretty good at not having to do that, basically.
You kind of like get it out of your system before you get in the van.
Yeah.
It's probably not a bad idea. So Buzz, what can you tell us about Greg? I know you've known him for many years. So what secrets do you have about him?
Well,
The
I
name
know
is slightly
he's,
flaccid, by the way.
Sorry, slightly flaccid. My
sorry,
mistake.
slightly has been sought after by authorities for years for his hacking work. I believe he works for the Burmese government right now. And he's not to be trusted.
He's actually
I've
the
hacked-
Burmese Python. I believe that he's been called
I've
that.
hacked many BBS boards, believe me. Star Trek chat rooms, I was like their nemesis. I would fuck with them all the
That
time.
was you.
Name
Mhm.
the movie after him.
Yeah, I was the one who revealed your slash fiction of Kirk
Hey.
and Spock.
Slash
That gay
fiction?
porn was good stuff. You know it was.
What
I
is
think his-
slash fiction, Greg? Is that
You don't know what
fiction
slash
about the
fiction is?
guitarist? Is that the guitarist from Guns N' Roses?
No,
writing
even
stories
before
about-
the internet, there was slash fiction, like in fanzines and stuff. There was Star Trek nerds, and a lot of them were women who would write these fan fictions, erotic, homoerotic ones where Kirk and Spock would hook up. So it was Kirk slash Spock. So that they called it slash fiction.
Oh, I see. So it would be
Yeah.
using like a backslash of some kind
Yeah,
to combine two
no
characters.
guitarists were involved.
Well, they could have done that. They could have had slash fiction.
Slash, yeah.
A three-way with slash Kirk and Spock. Yeah, that
Yes,
would be.
if Slash
great.
was on the original Star Trek, but I think he might have been a little too young to be on.
Yeah, I
that.
think he was more Next Generation or
And then
Yeah.
Ensign
Deep Space
Leibowitz.
Nine, maybe.
And then Ensign Leibowitz would try to do strangulation and then die. like he
Ensign
always did.
Leibowitz.
That was the guy in the red shirt who always went to the planet and died.
He died like in every show.
The security team
Well,
guy. that
They're
would
all
always
named
catch it.
Leibowitz. This is like something out of Star Wars. They're all clones in Star Trek.
No, they
too?
were just they all seemed to have some random name, and they were like, Ensign Leibowitz was the avatar of them.
I
But
don't
you knew
remember
it was
there
the
being a
guy that you
Leibowitz.
hadn't seen before.
Exactly. You knew he was going to die. It's like
Yeah.
Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and someone else, and Ensign Leibowitz. And you know that Ensign
Why,
Leibowitz
why is
along
it
for the
Jew?
third.
Why is he Jewish?
That
the
was
part I'm
my
trying-
question.
I don't
was going
know.
there. You know, it
Because
could
in-
be because Spock's hand gesture, the "Live Long and Prosper" hand gesture, is actually a Jewish
What?
hand gesture, allegedly.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yeah,
I
that's
think, I think they were all Jewish. That's why they had the Israeli flag on the starship.
good call,
They were
Buzz.
I don't remember the
They
Israeli
were trying
flag.
to spread Zionism through this whole
The
universe.
galaxy.
That's right,
Jews
yeah.
in space.
Mhm.
I think we're onto something.
That's where they were
Yeah.
fighting with the Romulans because it just reminded them of what happened 2,000 years ago.
Well, Romulans were the Roman Catholic Church. They just said it differently. They pronounced it wrong.
The Romulan
Romulan-
Catholic Church.
The
The
far, far,
Romulans.
far Eastern Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
In a
So who are the
galaxy far, far
Klingons in
east.
this horrible ethnic slur fest we're doing? Were the Klingons like the African Americans in space?
No, they're definitely Islam. I would say they're
Oh, those are
Islam.
Muslims.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna get in a lot of trouble for me saying that, even though it's a non sequitur. But now I just
I know.
realized that sounds really bad.
That's why you're.
Well, if
slightly
you just say
flaccid.
the prophet's name, then there will be.
They weren't the Muslims; they were the Zoroastrians.
There we go.
No, I
That
don't
makes
think
sense.
so.
The
Yeah.
towers for the vultures, the whole thing.
The towers for the vultures.
I believe that's how they would dispose of bodies.
I
The
didn't know this.
Zoroastrians, they went to towers.
They put
with
the body in
vultures?
a tower so the vultures would eat it.
That's my recollection. Don't quote me on this. This is not my area of
That's
expertise.
a lot of.
We're not going
that's
to
a lot
quote
of
you,
work.
but everyone who watches this is going to quote you for that.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that 14-year-old gay Star Trek fan who's listening to us on TikTok, or actually just listening to Matt on TikTok, is
Yeah.
definitely going to be.
It's watching the side of my big fat head is what they're watching right now.
You just dated yourself way more than Pong because you were like, as my memory serves, like you were around back then.
What in
I probably
the,
was.
the time of the popularity of the Zoroastrian religion, Greg?
Of the tower vulture thing.
Tower vulture. I think
What
that's your
happened to
new
that
home.
religion? I mean, I think, you know, those guys got the shaft. I mean, they had some stuff going on, didn't they?
Well, the
Yeah,
Christians
Zoroastrian?
stole a lot of it.
Was that what it was?
They
Well,
appropriated
who
it.
I
didn't?
don't know if they
The Christians
appropriated from
take
them. I
stuff
think
from.
they appropriated more from Mithraism than Zoroastrianism.
But I
Mithraism?
bet they got some
Yeah.
from Zoroastrianism. They probably got like the maybe the pedophilia or maybe the wafer.
Myth? Yes. Sorry.
Myth.
Muppet reference.
You're making a mistake, Greg. Slightly flaccid. I just spit on my computer because I tried to lisp. It's not good.
I'm glad. That's karma for naming me slightly flaccid in the first place.
Well, you made it easy to name you that.
I am
So,
fully
so,
flaccid. Thank you
Buzz,
very much.
how many of these waste of time and energy have you listened to in terms of the law offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker?
Oh.
1, 2,
How
all
many-
of them?
You're asking
How many have
if
I-
you've watched this show?
Yes.
Oh.
I've checked out a couple. I wanted to know what I was in for, and all the hate and
Racism.
obscenity, racism, misogyny, whatever you're into
Apparently,
that
it's
I'm not
all of
into.
that.
I wanted to make sure I was prepared for.
Oh,
So
that's
you
good.
basically educated yourself on how to be a misogynist, a racist, and hateful to be on
No,
the show.
I just watched your show.
Oh, just
Good.
watch.
Mission accomplished.
So just to fit in, though.
Right.
Right.
So how's the money in the cybersecurity business? Are you making bank?
Pays the bills. I'll say that.
That's it? It just pays the bills?
It would pay a
He
lot of
pays
bills.
his bills and other people's bills.
Would you pay my bills?
No,
He has to like you for that to happen. A
I've
lot.
known you for a while, Greg. I wouldn't pay your bills.
I'm still amazed though
I
that
would
you
buy you
went
a
from
drink, for Christ's sakes.
I'm amazed that you went from being just a private detective and because cybersecurity, you know, I'm a Luddite, I'm an idiot, but it seems like you gotta have a really good computer skill set for that. Like you gotta be damn good at computers.
I
right?
spent a lot of time, there's like a year plus runway of educating myself, understanding computer protocols, how computers and computer networks and systems work, both the actual computer itself, the hardware, software, all of that. And then the security part of it is in some ways similar, right? I mean, I was already in a security type field. So as far as digging into things, doing investigations, finding stuff out, like that sort of carries over in a lot of ways.
It took me like a year to figure out how to post something on Facebook or longer.
I was
Takes a year
probably
to
a
figure out
little
that your
bit more
tablet-
dedicated.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
But you're a cybersecurity guy just for a year of just study.
Well, he didn't start off as an expert, Greg. That took time. You don't start off as an expert.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
after a year, you were up and running.
I
You
knew
could sell
enough
your
to get an
services.
entry-level gig. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, I had a master's degree or something, but I knew enough to get an entry-level job. And then you just kind of grow and learn and keep going from there.
Yeah, that's the
So-
thing that most people do, Greg, which you might be unfamiliar with, is the concept of growing and learning and
Okay,
following ambition.
Welcome to another where Matt patronizes Greg about
What?
his life choices. So, Buzz, in the area of cybersecurity, because that's obviously a big umbrella. Where's the sweet spot? Where's the growth? What do you spend your? Is it network security? Is it cloud security? Is it bullshit user stuff where they're like clicking on that stupid link? I mean, what's the real?
It's all kind of booming. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously cloud is a big deal right now, but just over time, more and more, now pretty much every company has major online presence and, websites and all this, and they're constantly adding more technical ways to interface with their users on their phones and apps and all of that. So it's still growing, really. And the security side of it, like there's so many vulnerabilities and things that it's incredibly hard to write like foolproof code, like impossible theoretically.
Right. So time to dish. AWS, Azure, Google. Who's got it figured out better?
What the hell are you talking about, Brendan? What, AWS, Azure?
These are all cloud platforms where you can do cloud computing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have different offerings, so I totally couldn't advise you on that. They do different things and they do them in different ways. Amazon's been around and has kind of been the big guy for a while, so they're pretty good at it. The Azure and
I think Brendan just wants you to
others
go
are too.
right into a TED talk is what he wants right now.
Yeah, sorry. Let's
Hold
get
on,
back
yeah.
to the jokes, damn it.
Yeah, let's talk about Greg's life choices, shall we?
No,
That's
we've
usually
never-
I would
funnier.
actually. Could we like switch the conversation? I'm curious how you guys all met. Is that boring or?
I
Well,
met
like,
I met Buzz Lightyear through his brother, who I knew working for another company, and then we used to play chess a lot.
We
That's how I
played
met him.
chess. We go out and play midnight football.
I don't remember. Did we play midnight football? I don't remember that.
We did that for once in a while for a year or two. We go out late Friday night and beat each other up.
I don't even have any.
So it's full contact.
I have no
football
recall of
Full
that at all.
contact football. Yeah.
at midnight. Were you
Yes.
drunk? After
Sometimes. And with we were all college age, so we'd just go meet up with a bunch of dudes and
I was slightly past college age, but
slightly.
if I had been in graduate school, then it would be. I was like in graduate
Yeah.
school age.
So you count.
Yeah, not well. I don't count well. And then Brendan, I think, met Buzz in California, right?
Yes.
Do you mean independently, like with no
Yes.
knowledge? Wow.
Right. Yeah.
And,
And
then
I don't remember.
And then he moved to DC.
Many years
and-
later. Yeah.
Yeah, and we all kind of reconnected there, I guess.
Converged.
Did all the three of us wind up playing midnight football together? Because I don't remember doing
No,
that with.
no, I don't think Brendan ever did that.
I
No,
don't think so either. I think he was married at that point.
I think I
Yes.
was just at home drinking and was like, no, you guys go do whatever. We played a lot of midnight volleyball.
I remember volleyball, but I don't remember the football. That's the thing. It must have been.
The
I
football, that was,
must
I
have
mean, that,
dislodged something in my skull to make me forget
it was a while ago, but I remember it. My
Well, yeah, it's
brother,
definitely a while
would
ago. It's like
play and some other guys,
29 years ago, 30 years ago, something like
something like that. Yeah,
I
Something
don't-
like that.
that. I
I-
don't recall.
I'm not offended that you don't remember that, Matt.
Thank you. I've forgotten many things. I've had like 3 mini strokes over the last 6 years, so
Like,
some things just disappear. They're just gone. I don't know if they'll ever come back. However, this does bring us to the midway part of the show. And at the midway part of the show, unless somebody has an additional question they want to ask Buzz before I do this.
No, I wouldn't want to be guilty of convening a TED talk. So
Well, unfortunately, you've been convicted of that many times, so
Yeah,
it's too late.
probably true.
Go ahead and get another notch on your belt. So I'm going to we're going to have our cooking segment for to give Greg a chance to go to the bathroom.
oh
Um,
yay, potty break.
I don't think I have to go. Crazy enough.
It is kind of strange. All right, well, let me get this all set up for Waspy Soda Pop's foray into the new year. And I'll just play this.
Food is for eating, food is for eating, food is for eating with Waspy Soda Pop.
Hey there, everybody. Happy New Year. This is Waspy Soda Pop with Food is for Eating, and we got something great coming up for you since Super Bowl is just around the corner. For those of you who watch the Super Bowl, for those of you who don't, you can just get a really nice bowl, and that should handle it for you. Anyway, we're going to have classic buffalo wings that you can make for yourself or your friends, or even children down the street, or maybe even if you know some nuns at a convent, you can give it to them too. They'd really appreciate it. Anyway, classic buffalo wings. Here are your ingredients. Get 2 pounds of chicken wings, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, some kosher salt, some freshly ground black pepper, 1/4 cup of hot sauce, 1/4 cup of freshly scraped and strained water buffalo saliva, 2 tablespoons of honey, 4 tablespoons of butter, some ranch or blue cheese dressing for serving, carrot sticks and celery sticks also for serving. Again, those aren't chicken wings. They're vegetables, so you can throw them out, really. They're not any good. Anyway, directions, which would be what I'm going to tell you, not where you're going to go, because you need to figure that out yourself. You should stay here and just listen. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees and place a wire rack over a baking sheet in a large bowl. Not a super bowl, just a large bowl. Well, it could be a super bowl, I suppose. Anyway, toss chicken wings with oil and season with garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Transfer that to a prepared baking sheet. That's right, we're not frying these, we're baking them. Then you bake until the chicken is golden and skin is crispy. Not real gold, but like a golden color. If you're trying to bake them till they turn into the metal gold, it'll never happen. Anyway, this should take about 50 to 60 minutes, flipping the wings halfway through. And again, don't flip them off, just flip the wings. There's no reason to be rude to the chicken wings. Anyway, in a small saucepan, you're going to whisk together the hot sauce, the water buffalo spit, and the honey. Bring to simmer, then stir in the butter. Cook until the butter is melted and slightly reduced, about 2 minutes. Heat broiler on low. Transfer baked wings to a bowl and toss the buffalo sauce till completely coated. Return the wings to the rack and broil. Watch them carefully till the sauce caramelizes for 3 minutes. And you're going to serve with the ranch dressing or the blue cheese dressing. And again, if you threw out the vegetables, well, then you won't need to use them. But you could use them there if you want. So, there you go. Classic buffalo wings with freshly scraped and strained water buffalo saliva. This is Waspy Soda Pop, and Food is for Eating.
So how does Waspy harvest the water buffalo saliva? What's the best method?
I think he probably has some kind of connection to water buffalo saliva dealers in other countries.
On the dark web?
Yeah,
could be the
absolutely.
dark web, or he could just have friends, you know, who serve it. But it's hard to say. We did have a comment though on TikTok.
Tic-tac. Yes.
That
Old
said
man
the
with
Starfleet
the
flag
flag.
can pass as the Israeli flag. They never thought about that. So whoever mentioned the Israeli flag, you got yourself a TikTok follower or a Tic-Tac follower, either one.
You
Wait,
have
is
an
there actually
anti-Semite Tic-Tac guy now.
Is there a Star of David in the USS Enterprise?
It's a similar color blue. If we're really going to get into it, it does seem,
Yeah.
could be.
Wait, what was that noise just made, Greg? You went right.
I don't know.
Was that?
I think I might
That
have
was your
COVID.
acknowledgement of whatever he said. Well, we could get into our client, or we could just go right into the Ask Greg segment for the year. Which would you guys prefer? Should we get into the client, or just
Would it be annoying
ask
if I
Greg
just...
out of the way?
Could I ask Buzz one more question?
No, go ahead. That's why he's here.
So do you have dealings with the dark web? Through your...
Yes.
Like, you track guys through there and like, oh, this guy's coming from there. The dark
That's
web.
basically what I do. I work on the what they call threat intelligence research side. So I track guys doing bad stuff, whether they're criminals, doing things, selling
Threat
credit cards,
intelligence. So do you have to
whatever, or
predict? You have to
others.
predict where the threats come from.
Well, we try. It's hard to see the future.
Well, that's what crystal balls are for.
Yeah.
They'll help you. In all
But yeah,
aspects.
I do some of that sort of stuff for sure. Yeah.
Greg has this fascination with the dark web. He brings it
I
up
know.
a lot,
It
but he
sounds like
doesn't
an
even
urban
really know
legend.
what the regular web is. So I don't know why
Yeah.
it's all.
I mean,
mystery.
usually
Dark
that
web.
refers to things like Tor and things where you need special software to get to them. But the truth is, most of the, criminal forums and things are just on the internet. You just need to get access to them, get registered and pass whatever criteria they need from you to join.
So Greg, you said since you need to do it, then it's available for
Well,
you.
I want to get on the dark web to do my slash fiction.
Yeah,
Where
get
I
on the
won't be
dark webs.
bothered.
It's perfect for that.
Yeah,
Slash fiction. That's what they're all doing on the dark web, is they're reading slash fiction.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's not Mark.
They
absolutely.
spend all of their time
So
doing
They're
it.
acting it out with children.
Huge
It's freaking
underground slash fiction thing on the dark web.
All right. Well, I think we should just get into our next segment, which is Ask Greg, and we've got actually a new clip for a jingle for Ask Greg that was
A
created
jingle.
for the new year, because we have some
Oh,
new things
my.
that have occurred for the new year. We
Jingle.
had the actual ingredients show up for Waspy Soda Pop, and now we have a jingle for Ask Greg. So here we go. Let's get that going.
He has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg for bogus advice. Ask Greg. Ask
Was that
Greg.
Levana?
Ask Greg.
Well, why did you have to say something in the middle of it, Greg? You
I'm
ruined
sorry.
it for the experience.
I was
for
so excited.
You-
that it
should I
wasn't
play?
you.
I'll play it one more time and just shut up this time, okay? It's short.
Sorry.
He has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg for bogus advice. Ask Greg. Ask Greg. Ask Greg.
That's the best thing I've ever been associated with. I'm so happy. I love that. Tell Levana I love her.
Yes, she even played the ukulele for you.
I know, I could tell. I know she's a ukulelist.
Ukulelist. So the concept of Ask Greg, for those who don't know, is because we are fake lawyers and this is a fake law office, we then have real legal questions that Greg will answer without having any legal training whatsoever. So I don't know.
But I
if Brendan-
remember, though, I have to add, I am the best fake lawyer of all three of us. That's why I was chosen.
It's incredibly true, actually. So
I've
I
worked
don't know
with
if
a lot of
Brendan-
lawyers, and he's right. He's an excellent fake lawyer.
He's
Yeah.
a fantastic fake lawyer.
Brandon, I don't know if you have a question ready for Greg or not. If you want to do that, I've got one.
Let
handy.
me dive into the here's one. Dear Greg, I'm going through a messy divorce. My daughter has a emotional support jellyfish. My question is this: do I need to provide a tank for the jellyfish to be transported to when she spends the weekends at my house? Or can I just simply get a different jellyfish because it's a goddamn jellyfish and she'll never know the difference, and I'll keep that one at the house? And is there any legal ramifications if I should violate her jellyfish needs such that I would not get weekend visitation rights?
That seems legitimate.
That is a real question posed to a real lawyer here in the state of Florida.
Are you serious?
You're an emotional support jellyfish.
I am 100% serious.
Well, first of all, jellyfish, a child can tell one jellyfish from the other. That's not going to work. There's an amazing bonding that goes. People think of jellyfish as just these little squishy things. They're actually, they have a personality. They have a, so the kid's going to know. So don't do that. You probably should get a tank. I don't know if she has to fly, because the FAA doesn't allow jellyfish on planes because of all the terrorist things in the 70s where the jellyfish were commandering planes,
Mandarin?
It was a big thing.
Mandering.
So they're still banned from all airplanes. But I don't know. This is a tricky one. She definitely shouldn't buy a second one because the daughter will know.
Mhm.
I would say that she should kill the jellyfish by overfeeding it in the bowl and just buy her a kitten or a real pet, because that's insane. that daughter needs counseling. You should not have a jellyfish as an emotional support animal.
That's incredibly judgmental.
No, it's
Wow.
the law.
But it goes back to an earlier episode when you were showing how you're racist against seafood,
Seafood?
against squids and sea life.
Yeah. I mean, those aren't pets. You can't cuddle a jellyfish.
If you get the right jellyfish, I think you could. I think you can cuddle it. Get them.
You can't cuddle a jellyfish, but you can cuddle a cuttlefish.
You can jelly with the cuttlefish. You can spread jelly on a cuttlefish. That sounds like some old saying from the South. Listen, son.
Well, it goes back to shit and peach seeds, as I've said before.
You can't cuddle with a jellyfish.
You can cuddle a cuttlefish. All right. Well, thank you for that answer, Greg. And now I have a question for you as well. So it's kind of got two parts to it in the sense that there's an explanation. Can you have a felony and obtain a seller license in the state of Oklahoma? I'm a felon and I'm trying to work at the Thunder Games, and they say I need to obtain a license. Can I do this? That is the question being posed to you from apparently a felon.
A legal query. What are the Thunder Games? What does that entail?
I have no idea what the Thunder Games are.
The
I did
Thunder
not
Games
make
are
up this
seller?
question. This is a legitimate question.
He wants to be a seller, did you say?
At a seller, I guess he's trying to get a seller license in the state of Oklahoma to sell something at the Thunder Games.
It's a basketball team.
Maybe it's a basketball team. Maybe it's got
Two-man
something to do
enter,
with
one-man
Mad
league.
Max.
I think it's something different. Yeah.
What was that,
Yeah.
Buzz?
Like Thunderdome?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
Tina
think- I
Turner
mean-
might be there.
I mean, if it's Thunderdome, then I'm sure Greg or Slightly Flaccid will have a whole. I mean, that's a different set of circumstances.
Oh my
I would
God.
think that a felony conviction or something might be required for that.
No, I think you have to have at least a simple murder rap to serve at a Thunderdome. But I mean, is that what we're talking about? And do those exist in Oklahoma?
Well, I guess Greg is going to have to answer this because the question's
Yeah.
being posed to him. So,
I
Greg,
prefer your answers more than mine. But if you do want my answer, I would say that there's nothing about being a felon in any law in any state in the country that says you can't be a seller. You can have a business license. You can. You might not be able to vote, certain other things, but there should be no problem with him being able to sell the Thunder Games. I don't know if it has something to do with Thor selling lightning. I'm not sure what the Thunder Games are. Selling fecal matter to power Barter Town. I don't know.
what?
How did we get to shit? How did we get to
In
shit?
Barter
Greg?
Town in Thunderdome, it was a very big commodity. The pig shit ran the town. That was the energy that ran Barter Town.
Lightly knows his history here. That's correct.
Yes, I know my future
He slightly knows
apocalyptic
it.
history.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I stand corrected.
I don't understand his query even. It seems like there should be no problem having a seller license. There's
Unless
no
he's
law.
selling fecal matter or lightning.
Yeah, those are definitely not allowed. But but you should be able to sell other things like corn dogs or cotton candy or jelly babies.
Or jellyfish. Emotional support
Yeah.
jellyfish.
Jellyfish, sure.
at the
Support
Thunder
jellyfish.
Games. Okay, well, before we end off the Ask Greg segment, Buzz Lightyear, do you have a legal question to pose to Greg to see if he has a response for you?
I do. Is it legal to live in the state of Oregon anymore?
Well, if you're white, it is. Because they haven't stricken that from the books. In 1900, it was illegal to be black in Oregon. And it's one of those blue laws, I guess you could call it.
What if
Or
you're like a
black laws.
firefighter during the wildfires and you're like covered in soot?
They'd kick you out. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think you got to
Well,
go
I
at
mean,
this point.
technically, it's kind of one of those blue laws. We're still in the books, just like 20 years ago in Alabama, on the books, it was still legal to sell a slave, own a slave, and sell slaves. It was just one of those things that never got stricken from the record. But yeah, it is legal to live in the state of Oregon as long as you drink kombucha and you have some interesting facial hair. You're fine. you're good.
Right.
If you
Okay.
drive a tall bike, you ride a tall bike, you know.
A tall bike,
Yeah, one
like
of those
with one
tall
of the
bikes.
one of the big wheels and like a smaller wheel, that type of bike.
That's any
The old
kind of
shaker bikes?
eccentric, any kind of cutesy, eccentric, old timey bike will do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good to
Well,
know.
that is an excellent legal question, Buzz Lightyear, that you posed to Greg. And this
Thank you.
has been Ask Greg is what it's been. So we'll
And don't play the theme song again.
more time.
He
No!
has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg for bogus advice. Ask Greg. Ask Greg. Ask Greg.
Okay.
Who wrote the lyrics to that?
I think she did. She asked me a couple of questions, but and I think I added a couple of things, but you know,
Brilliant.
she came up with the rest of it. It was
Nice.
a really good idea. Anyway, so from YouTube, these are the comments we've gotten so far. We've gotten var.tech. I have no idea what that means.
Wow.
From the Happy Hour News team, they said howdy from the great frozen north. And then someone else went voom.ong. And then Happy Hour News team responded with, looks like you're getting spammed. So I think they might be right.
Whoa. That's jumping to some serious conclusions. Boom. That's some code shit right there.
What's
What was
lucky
the
that
other
we
one?
have Buzz Lightyear here. He can like take care of that for us.
Bartek?
He can check out who these guys are on the dark web.
Sounds like
Or
spam.
spam
Not
is.
ong. Well, I think we should go because we're now running into client territory. So we need to get right into our client for today here in our first episode of the new year, the first episode of season 4, which is the American Resolution. And since we're in the new year, you know, most people, they come up with resolutions for what they're going to accomplish or get done for the coming year. And often they never complete those things. Their goals are unfounded. They are sad and weary by the end of the year and have forgotten actually whatever the resolutions were from the beginning of the year before. So Greg, did you last year make any resolutions, and were you able to follow through and get them to happen this year?
I haven't made resolutions in a long, long time because I just don't care. But this year I actually did because I do care about living a little longer. So I'm going to be a little more proactive on my health. Like I have sleep apnea and I've had a broken CPAP machine for 20 years sitting in my room. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to start using it.
Maybe get a new one.
But yeah, whatever I
The
have to do.
technology is better these days.
Either
I
fix
heard
it-
he was going to stop smoking too.
No, that's not going to happen.
He
But
might like lessen his drinking too to like keep the cirrhosis at bay.
no, that's silly.
So the
That's-
one thing you're going to do for your health is fix your CPAP machine.
That's a big thing. That's a like, you know that a seat like if you have sleep apnea, it's like 50% more chance of stroke or heart attack. Because I'm choking
If
every
you
night.
combine it with smoking and alcoholism, yes, it's even worse.
No, but yeah, it's even worse. But you know, sleeping badly doesn't help my life any. But smoking and drinking adds a lot of joy to my life, and I don't want to stop that. I don't want to live that long if I have to be a fucking monk. I have to live like a fucking nun.
Well, you're already dressed like a monk.
A nun.
Yeah.
A monk. Oh, okay.
That's right, because if you stop smoking and drinking, you're obviously a monk.
Or
So
a
I actually
nun.
have something to live for now. So I'm gonna
That's right. He'll
I'm gonna
turn
try
into
to be
a
a little
nun.
better.
Well, that's good. I think you should do that, Greg. I think that's not a bad idea. But you didn't have any resolutions from the year before.
Not for a long time. no.
Okay. I know that I had one, which was I was trying to lose like 100 pounds. And that was like a resolution I had for many years. And actually this past year, I did wind up losing 50. So that's a starting
Wow.
point at least. It was easy. I just had to remove a toe, and that was 50 pounds gone right there.
It's a big toe.
That was a
You
major
had a
toe.
50-pound toe.
That's right.
Isn't that a Johnny Cash song?
There was a
Pound
time I
toe.
went to traveling with my
A
big fat toe.
50-pound toe.
Yeah, that was Johnny Cash. B-side, not a lot of people know it.
Happy Hour News Team loves your jingle, Greg. They said it's a badass little
jingle.
jingle. What's
It is
that?
pretty badass.
Because they
jingle, I
put
gotta
that
admit.
on the YouTube. They said that's a badass little jingle.
They put
That's
it
good.
on the YouTube, Greg.
The YouTube. This
So
is the
Buzz,
dark. This is the
do you
slightly
do
dark web.
resolutions every year?
No, it's never been a thing for me. I don't know. Like, if I need to change something, I'm not going to wait to the end of the year to do it. You know, I'm like, let's do that now, maybe.
But it would be the beginning of the year, not the end of the year.
Well, I mean, how do you time it? How do you time?
I don't know. At
changes?
about midnight.
Okay. Hey, do what works for you. It's not my thing. Sorry.
Resolutions are bullshit. We all know.
Yeah.
They're just bullshit. I mean,
They're for people who are too weak to change, and then they think they're going to try to change, and they don't. They fail.
Well, no. I don't mean from that perspective, Greg. That's, I think, a you thing. But what I'm saying is,
Oh, and he gives me crap for giving Greg crap. Okay.
I'm just saying that if you're going to make a change, you can make a change, as Buzz was saying, at any point. I think too many people kind of get set up like, okay, this is, it's New Year's. I'm going to make these resolutions not because the will to change is there, because they've actually decided that, whatever, but it's the season to do it, which is just a bullshit reason to do it. If you're going to make a change in your life, you have to decide to make that change in your life. You have to go, okay, for these reasons, I want to make this change. Now, I stopped smoking a year ago, disrelated to the beginning of the year, but it was just that I got sick and then I didn't smoke for a couple of days. And after I didn't smoke for a couple of days, I went, I'm not dead. I didn't die.
Has it been a year since you quit, Brendan?
Yeah, it's been a year.
Wow, we were there when it started too. So, hey, congratulations to you for quitting smoking there, Brendan.
Right. So that happened just really honestly randomly at this time of year. It didn't happen because I went, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. But people should make changes, but you have to decide to make the change. Greg is not going to decide to quit smoking or probably fix his CPAP machine until he really decides that it's something that's affecting his life.
I think if you can use that as a motivation and change for better, great. I don't think it's a bad idea if it's something like, oh, it's a new year, I'm going to change. Fantastic. Like, I wouldn't put that down, but if that works for you, great.
I would, because I think it's set up-ish. I think a lot of people set themselves up for failure because they're operating on the trigger or whatever of the time of the year, not that they've actually made the decision.
Well, I think if they're just doing it because they have to, it's the new year, I need a resolution or something, yeah. But I think if it's heartfelt and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Well, the difference between you and Brendan, Buzz, is the fact that you have a heart, and that's how you can have something that's heartfelt, right? Like you could recognize that. But Brendan, unfortunately, Falco,
You're
Falco
the
Manhattan.
one with no heart, Matt. You and me.
You said that I have one. You just said it's very small and cold.
Yeah, like me too. But Brendan has the warm heart. That's why he gets so fiery. That's why he squabbles.
Well, I mean, with my kids, every year I do gift giving on New Year's Day with my kids. I don't do gifts on Christmas or other holidays.
Because you're a Jew.
No, I do it. I don't do it on Hanukkah either. I do it on New Year's Day because New Year's Day is a good non-denominational holiday that everybody celebrates. And it just made sense to me way back when that we should do something that doesn't really have the commercial aspect to it, and it's more of a thing that we could get together behind ourselves. So I wanted our own tradition to be there. So that's what we did. So what goes with that particular tradition with my kids is, and with whoever happens to attend that event of that day, is we go through goals that we would like to accomplish by the end of the year. In other words, we set things up for a potential, like something that could be done, like, is this something you would like to accomplish? And are there steps that you would like to take? And we go over that. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. But I think it's good it works as kind of a reminder for things that may have been forgotten or shelved. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, I mean, just doing it because it's the new year for other people, well, that maybe it is bullshit. But for us, it's more of a tradition than anything else that we've created that I think helps gives some clarity to maybe some changes that had been forgotten about. It gets people thinking about it and possibly moving forward on that road. You know, like for me, I was like, oh, you know what? I think this year I want to kind of get into Tai Chi. And I'd been thinking about it, going, okay, you know, this might be something beneficial, you know, and so that's my particular goal for the year is like get advanced into Tai Chi because I don't exercise a damn bit, as has been mentioned a few times on this program before.
I choose, I've considered, doing that. I do a little bit of stretching and yoga and stuff like that. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't want to do yoga because that involves getting on the floor, and it's really hard for me to get off the floor. So if I have something that doesn't require me getting below my waist,
Just do all the lay down ones. You know what I mean?
the lay
Just
down
do all-
ones would. I mean, don't do those.
No, just do those. Just lay down and stay down.
Don't ever get up.
Don't ever get back up.
No, it's just so hard on the knees, man. It's so hard on the knees getting back up again. But anyway, but I could see, lots of people, they do a resolution just for the sake of doing resolutions, and it winds up being bullshit. So I can see your bitterness there, Falco, in terms of how that has been caused.
I mean, traditions inherently are bullshit if we're really going to get down to the nuts and bolts of it.
I mean, like Matt's thing on doing something on New Year's instead of Christmas. I mean, if you're going to sacrifice something or do something to bring the sun back, it works as well on the 1st as the 25th of December, probably.
Sure, or the 17th of August.
Well, it
mean,
brings my sons back at least because, they come back to the house.
Hungover.
No.
Everyone's hungover from New Year's Eve, and
No, that's just at your house, Greg.
oh,
I think that's a lot of people's houses, Matt.
Well, I meant of the four. I meant of the four of us.
Oh, I see.
Not the.
so I'm curious though. You said like you want to escape the commercialism, but I don't think Hanukkah has been overly commercialized in our society. So you can still give gifts on Hanukkah.
Well, but I don't want to.
You don't want to.
He doesn't like gout.
Or gout,
Gout?
for that matter. Not a fan of gout.
Yeah, I thought he said
Gelt
gelt.
isn't so. No, he said gelt. Gelt is something that's given at Hanukkah.
I know
Greg.
gelt. It's the chocolate coins. I
Right.
love gelt.
Okay. Well, I just thought you.
Chocolate coins?
He doesn't like
Yes.
dreidels.
Yeah, they're kind of annoying. And also, if you play the dreidel game, then you could lose money.
And you can poke your eye out. They're pointy.
There's so many ways you could poke your eye out. You could do it on the menorahs, Greg.
You burn your eye out. Yeah.
If the candles are lit, yes. But if the candles aren't lit,
Yes.
I think the flame would go out pretty quickly because of the liquid nature of your eye.
Yes.
Yeah, probably would. It'd be
The op-
painful, but yeah, it would probably.
The
go.
optic
Yeah.
fluid in the back
I
of the eye.
think for all of the kids that are tuned in on TikTok,
Well,
Stop
one of them
dancing.
asked what our pronouns are on TikTok just now.
who?
They wanted to know what our pronouns are on
Oh,
TikTok.
I'm beep bop boop.
All right, so that's from MJ is mommy.
Michael Jackson is mommy.
Is that,
Paris is on the
is that
line?
Matrez?
No, I don't know who it is. Somebody on TikTok, but so beep bop boop is Falco Manhattan's pronoun, in case people were wondering. I
Because
go
I
by
identify as a robot. Or
my
a cyborg.
pronoun. My pronoun is what. So that's the only one I'll
Is that a
accept.
pronoun?
It is today, Greg. Slightly flaccid. That is my pronoun.
Slightly flaccid. So Greg's pronouns would be like limp, lump, lamp. I don't know how. Limp and lump. How does that work?
I think lamp works as well. Lamp
Slightly
is slightly
flaccid?
flaccid's pronoun. All right. Buzz Lightyear goes by Toy Story as his
I
pronoun.
think my pronoun is you. I get that a lot.
You.
You like hey you.
Hey, you.
Hey yous. Depends
You
My
on
want
what
pronoun-
to have a dog.
My pronoun is shithead, apparently, because a lot of people refer to me as that. Like, hey, shithead.
I've
What are you
never
doing
heard
over
anybody call you that.
Well, you don't hang out with me a lot. At
I've
work,
heard-
they call me
I've
that.
heard dumbass motherfucker, but I don't think I've heard shithead.
That's a variant.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay.
I
Is that
also
the,
respond to that.
Is that the Delta variant of shithead? Is dumbass motherfucker?
Yes. I also respond to that.
You do. If somebody like is saying it down the street, you'll turn. You go,
Yeah.
you talking to me?
I'll assume.
You'll sue them.
I'll assume.
Assume. Oh, that they're talking to you.
I'll
Got it.
assume them.
I shall sue.
because I am a fake lawyer and I can do that.
So are there any changes that anybody chose to decide to possibly look towards for the coming year that didn't make a resolution? So Greg was going to fix his
I already told
BiPAP,
you mine,
his CPAP device. I say BiPAP because that's what I've got. But Brendan, is there any other additional changes you're making for the next year besides
Yeah, I'm gonna
quitting
lose.
smoking?
I'm gonna lose some weight. I'm gonna try to lose probably about 50 pounds.
Nice. Okay. Buzz?
I don't know if I have one on an annual time scale. I mean,
No, just something that you're thinking about possibly doing over the course of the next year.
I'm working on getting my time running a few miles a little bit faster rather than slower, which is what usually happens when you get older.
So you want to like up your running speeds.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just a son of a bitch is what you are. You're just like lording this over the rest of us. The
Yeah.
fact that, you know, your goals are all met and all you have to do is just get a little bit faster when running is what you're saying.
I'm willing to start smoking too, if that helps.
Well, I think your resolution should be like putting that Matthew Broderick in jail. Fucking
Yeah,
hacker.
that MFer has been out there a long time and someone needs to bring him to justice.
He almost started World War III, that little shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he married
Broderick.
that girl, and then he was doing all that Broadway shit. No, that guy gets me good. He needs to go down.
Yeah.
I know, and then he played a lion on television and in the movies.
Fuck that guy.
He did?
He did. They called him Simba Broderick.
Oh, he was in Lion King?
That's what they say. And that's what the credits said too.
Word on the street.
I don't think so.
The
I think
rumor
it's-
is Matthew Broderick might have been in Lion King,
I think it's
but we're not
true.
certain.
We
We're
don't
not
know.
Sure. If it wasn't him, it must have been Andy Dick. They get confused often.
Yeah.
Those two guys. All right. Well, so is there anything else? We've come to our hour limit for the show. Is there anything you guys would like to say to TikTok besides your pronouns, or to YouTube besides I don't know, whatever you're thinking?
Buzz, do you want to promote the next Toy Story or something to promote? Or...
Yeah, there's going to be cartoon movies coming out. Go see them. They're great, I'm sure.
There's actually a Buzz Lightyear solo movie that's coming out in the next year.
Ooh.
That sounds terrible. Don't go see that. I mean, you should see that.
It'll be on Disney Plus, but only if you spend an extra $50.
Yes.
I mean, that's how I get paid, right?
That's how it works on the.
Don't fight the system, dude.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for participating in this. The guys from Happy Hour News Team who showed up, the 2 computer bots that were on YouTube, as well as the numerous people who showed up. We actually got 329 likes on TikTok, guys. Why?
Wow.
I don't know, because all they could see is like the side of my head, and occasionally I would turn and stare.
And I didn't even dance.
No, you didn't dance, but that you don't have to stop now. You can
But
start dancing.
they can't see you dance anyway.
Yeah, they'd have to come to the YouTube channel for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Next week we will not have a guest. We will have a guest in the 2 weeks following that, which will be kind of our final guest for the show in general, unless we agree on somebody that we want to have on. Although there will be one more in February, but then after that, there are no more scheduled guests for the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Unless you guys come up with somebody that you would really like to talk
So it's
to or
just
have
3
on.
buffoons.
Yeah, unless Brendan's
can we-
The
working.
way I like it.
Can we bring back some of like the golden kids that we've had in the past?
The Golden Kids.
I don't know.
Kids
They're talking about
dipped in
Arrow
gold?
again.
It sounds like I've ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were
No more
kind of
guests.
like the crowning achievement is you were the guest that we tried the hardest to finally get, and there you are. And so you made it so like no other guest after you could ever be as good as you. You know, you set the
Yeah,
bar
okay.
so high that nobody else could ever live up to it.
Right.
He's no Bruce Valanche.
Right?
He
He's
is,
taller.
yeah.
He's taller and younger. That's probably why. Just so you guys know, we have launched our Patreon page for anybody who's interested. So it's www.patreon.com/QSBlaw. So if anybody wants to join that, why you would, I don't know, but there's one of the memberships you can get stickers for free. Not really free because you're paying for the membership to Patreon. So there's that. There's a couple new products on our merchandise store. If you go to our website at www.qsblaw.org, there's things that you put on your phones, like phone cases, and I believe that we've got a fishing hat type, or some type of hat that looks like a fishing hat, which has our faces on it. We finally did sell something on our store over the holidays. Greg's sister Maria bought his face on a shirt. So
and your faces too. She bought 2 shirts.
That's true, but she only bought 1 shirt that I saw.
She showed me.
No, she showed you the front and the back of the shirt.
Oh, that's how it works. I didn't know that.
So the front of the shirt is like your giant head, and I think it says "It's Greg" at the bottom of it, and on the back it has our stylized logo with a variety of colors and the website underneath that on the back of the shirt.
I wish I had more relatives. We'd be rich.
Well, you do have more relatives. Only one has bought anything, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
as a fake lawyer, Greg probably advises nobody to do any of that.
As a fake lawyer, he doesn't even advise people to listen to the show.
I don't. I usually tell them not to listen.
Because he's trying to grow non-listeners. Is what he's doing. He's trying to make sure less people listen to it. But I'm just trying to think of, like, there's other things that are happening this particular year regarding the show, besides the lessening of the guests, the addition of the Patreon page, the addition of things to the store. I forget what else. Oh, I'm creating some new video visuals. Like, I've been working on today getting all of the sponsors together as one particular video. So hopefully I'll have that wrapped up by tomorrow and something. That'll be something that'll be offered for people to come onto Patreon. They will get access to that. Another ridiculous thing I'll be adding to the Patreon memberships is I'm going to get copies of all of the notes I've taken for the shows. And if people can see, like, the actual insane scribbling that I do to write the show notes, it's really not pleasant, but it's an extra that they'll get.
That's value added right there.
Yeah, it's just like somebody goes, "Oh, look, his bad handwriting. Look at that."
It could be a coffee table book.
Eventually, it could be. But I'll be making more specialty videos. One of the other things that we have actually a sale going on with Patreon right now, where if people come on in the next 60 days, they will get a personalized digital video from us to them. So that they will be mentioned in that video. So, but they'd have to join. I think any of the sponsorship levels, either the $3 one up to the $30 one. There's that sale is going on for anybody who joins in the next 60 days to our Patreon page, again, which is.
I don't have to get naked or anything, do I?
Well, I mean, you can. That could be like for a different membership level.
That's like $400 or more.
When are we launching the OnlyFans?
I think OnlyFans is no longer allowing nakedness. I think they stopped that.
No, they changed that back.
Oh, they changed it back because they lost all of their subscribers.
Because no one went there anymore.
There was nobody left.
It's like,
there was no one left.
We were a porn site that's no longer a porn site. That'll make everybody stay.
Mm-hmm.
And there it went. Yeah, well, no, we could do OnlyFans, I suppose. We'll see how the Patreon thing goes first.
I just heard that RedTube is just showing old public domain cartoons now with Bosco and
just commercials.
Coco the Clown.
Commercials for Alka Seltzer.
Yeah.
Blop, blop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a really fizz. Yeah, that'd be great.
They're doing great. Apparently, it really worked for them. They're doing great. RedTube.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's some old women that are making mad cash on OnlyFans. You know, a lot of our audience is older women. We might be missing something.
You know what we didn't go through is we didn't go through demographics for the year because you guys weren't around last week to talk about that. So we should probably do this really quick. And
let's do it really quick.
Demographics. And
yes, I gotta pee now. I didn't pee.
Oh, now you have to pee for crying out loud.
You were supposed to go during the break. Come on, man.
I did have to.
That's why we do soda pop, guy.
That's the only reason we do West Bay soda pop.
So on listening platforms, 75% of our listeners listen to us through Apple, 3% on Overcast, 2% on Spotify, 2% on Anchor, and 18% is other. So I know that Spotify is starting to move up a little bit because we now can show our visuals on Spotify, whereas
Okay, I'm
used to be only
peeing.
be on
This is
YouTube.
just really boring me.
Thank you, Greg. 87% of our listeners in the United States, only 87%. That's actually kind of fascinating. 5% are in Italy, 4% in Germany, 2% in the UK. Everything else is under 1%. So I'll just zip through those names. Bangladesh, France, Romania, Switzerland, Canada, India, Russia, Australia, Ireland, Ukraine, Norway, Indonesia, Brazil, Nigeria, Philippines, Singapore, Puerto Rico, Spain, Chile, Libya, Mexico, Hungary, Belgium, South Korea, Sweden, Turkey, and the Netherlands. We
Libya.
Forgot
Yeah.
international waters.
we finally made it to the Dutch. Gender of those who listen, 73% female, 22% male, 5% non-specified. You know, we used to be higher in the female category at 73%, so we've added some people. However, we excel in the age demographic of 45 to 59 years old. That is 80% of our listeners are the ages of 45 to 59. 11% are 35 to 44. And then 23 to 34, it's 3%, and 60 plus is 5%. So the 45 to 59 demographic on the listening platforms. Greg, where is Greg gone?
He went to the bathroom. He said it was boring. So this is what I'm saying. Mostly
you, Greg.
female, mostly older. Only fans.
Yes, and it seems like we've definitely added more people in that age bracket though. Between because it used to be like 75% or 70%. So more middle-aged people are turning into us, mainly probably because we look like them to some extent.
Well, you can thank me for the 5% in Italy. That's all my paisans. That's all my cousins.
I don't need to listen to you dribble, dude. Just go on mute, please.
That's why he's slightly flaccid.
Why are you away from the bathroom? That's why he's pressed on mute.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And yet we can't see you anymore.
And I didn't say it was boring. I said it was fucking ponderous. That's what I said.
Dude, ponderous, I don't remember. Boring, I remember.
We have had over 12,000 plays just strictly from the podcast itself on podcast platforms. And we have between 20 to 40 people every time we launch an episode that listen to a particular episode. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you put it in perspective, if you had 20 to 40 people in your house, that would be significant if those people were all listening to the podcast. So I look at it as we've created a little bit of a small commune, or the potential of a death cult that we could be putting together, that we could all together die at one time in a house eventually.
We need to get busy on that into 2022.
I think.
When is Ascension Day?
I don't know. I don't know what Defenders Day is either, but I know.
No, Ascension. We have to pick a date for all the followers to ascend to.
Oh, like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Got it.
October 15th.
But I just want to apologize to Buzz to have to listen to all this bullshit. Sorry. No.
It was well, you guys weren't here last week for me to go over with you, so you'd have the details. Well, Brendan hasn't listened to it though.
Nope, I sure did.
So there you go. So it was important to get kind of a recap. Happy Hour News Team says they want a damn sticker. Well, Happy Hour News Team, we love you guys, but to get a sticker, you gotta, I think, get the $9 membership and pay for 3 months.
They gave us 50 stickers. Reel them.
Send them stickers.
I don't have any stickers. I don't personally have any stickers.
Well, send them some.
So can I order stickers from our website so I can send out stickers to people?
You could, but if you did it through me and I give you the connection to the store, you could get them for much cheaper.
Will you give Brendan the wholesale discount if he does?
I'll give him the password to log in if you want to.
All right, we'll do that later.
He can make his own.
Why don't you just get some My Little Pony stickers and send them those?
Because
I
Greg would get triggered.
I still need to make the Disco Jihad shirt. I worked on some designs. I'm not done.
Well, you can make whatever you want. I'll make sure I send that to you.
Do it.
that
We're gonna have so
the-
many different T-shirts. We're gonna
because I
make money on
suck at
T-shirts.
creating things and I get confused and my eyeballs glaze over and I go, I hate this part of doing this particular job. But
Give me the
if you're willing
merch.
to take that over of the merch, I will gladly pass that on. Okay, is there anything else that we should bring up for the coming year, everybody, for the next season? Oh, by the time this season is over, we'll be having a new Quibbly Awards show. So at the end of season 4 will be the next step up to the Bar Association
In summertime?
banquet. It'll be in June.
June.
Yeah, because that'll be our anniversary. We'll do it on our around our anniversary, which is because our seasons go 6 months long. So every 6 months is a new season, Greg. That's how I'm timing this. So we can make various changes at those times, even though we make them at other
That's a
times too.
liberal definition of season, but okay.
It is. It's a television definition of season, which is whatever the hell you want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I want to thank Buzz Lightyear very much for coming on today.
Thanks, Buzz.
He is a cybersecurity expert and former private investigator, and he once was much better at me than chess, and now he's, I don't know, I don't play chess anymore. And Falco Manhattan, slightly flaccid, and this is Misfit Plant signing out from the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Your consultation with the law offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker has ended. You may pay your retainer at www.qsblaw.org. Please exit to the right of the water cooler and grab a candy from the front desk. We hope to see you again soon, but you need to leave now. I said leave. Why don't they listen? Get out! Get out!